Hey, good evening or early morning, guys. I have a few things that have just been weighing heavily on me, on and off. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm going through, a lot of stuff. And Rory was over here with me tonight. I wrote down a few things and I want to go through. And after I say them, if anybody has any questions about them, feel free to ask me your questions. I don't have the side chat up right now, so I can just kind of get through it, but I'll go back and read them. Okay, so the first thing, I wanted to say I'm very, very saddened, extremely saddened that Awesome Hooker and Shauna took their channels down. I'm really sad that they did that. I know that they both have qualities similar of each other, and those qualities are the qualities that I think a lot of people really, draw you to them because they just are so compassionate. And I understand the pain that they felt and they feel when they felt that Uni's the horrific treatment of Uni by Melton John wasn't something made a bigger deal of. Um, Sorry about that. My dog sees. Honey, come here. Come here, honey. I got your carrots. Sorry about that, guys. Whenever I get on here, he like turns into this. Moshi, come here, get your carrots. Mama's got a carrot. Come on, honey. Come on, get your carrot. Okay. Um, so I understand that. And I was on the panel. I don't know if that was the last one that Awesome Hooker has done because I haven't really been paying all that attention to everything that's gone on. Really, my mind has just it's really been someplace else. But um, there you go, honey. Um, the panel that I was on with Spirit of Salt, and there was Tucker on there, and we were trying to have a conversation, and Spirit of Salt was a bit tough on me, but I understand, how she was feeling. And afterwards, after that stream went off, Awesome Hooker left. But Tucker, her, and I stayed for a really good conversation. And a lot of times it really does get fixed in an after chat or a private because you can really, you're not trying to say anything for people in the side chat. You're not holding back, or you're not that people would, but you know what I mean? So we left out of there. She apologized for, coming at me strong or whatever. And I apologized that I should have made it a bigger deal and said something like that at that point. And it's not an excuse, it's just a reason. If anybody who knows me would know that I would really would champion the cause of, I have video on my channel about, Black Lives Matter. I know how my mind wasn't even really there, because if my mind really was there into what Uni was being called, it would have just crushed me, and I would have been, like usual lately, a ball of tears. That's how I know my mind just wasn't there. It's just not there a lot, guys. That's really the answer. What was there, though, was Rory, and others have said the same thing as well. Spirit of Salt thought that she didn't see it as Rory was being called a racist or what have you. And I think this has all been taken care of tonight because I believe that they talked on Felicia's stream. But that I took it as that. And then when you start to get into the defensive for your friend, and I wasn't thinking clearly. I clearly wasn't thinking clearly because me, I would have been the first person, one of the first persons, especially on certain issues. I would have been one of the first persons. And I guarantee you, if it would have been a Jewish comment like that, I would have dropped the ball just as much. I would have dropped the ball just as much because that's just kind of how I've been feeling lately. And, but to Uni, I apologize. Um, I want you to feel the other thing that you did, even though we talked about it, the letter, has nothing to do with this. It doesn't have anything to do with this. You're right on that. I'm never going to put a but in there because a but will then just kind of like negate everything that I said beforehand. So you are right. And I am sorry. I don't even need to say that I didn't say that or I didn't feel that or whatever. For my little tiny part, I failed. And I do apologize for that. I do apologize for that. I think it's horrible. I've been in a situation actually with Melton before when he just called me very much anti-Semitic names. I mean, you could ask Rory and everything. And since then, it's like I felt we've been able to have conversations regarding Israeli Palestine, because that's his biggest thing, is more governmental issue, especially with Israel. I felt like, no, you can't. I don't want to even say you can't change a racist. I want to say, because I think a racist is very ignorant to the real facts. And I have seen Rosie take time with people and they suddenly change how they feel about transgendered people. And I've seen Shauna do the same thing. I've seen her take even more time with it because you just want to perhaps not when you come back if you have somebody like with myself, but when I have come back now at Melton as a Jewish woman and I hear him say something like that and then I kind of come back to him on more of like the facts or let's talk about this or whatever, it kind of throws people for a little bit of a loop. They don't really know what to expect, but that's not my baby to babysit. I think it's horrible. I just think that there was a lot going on at that time. It wasn't as cut and dry as that. There were a lot of separate issues that were muddying up the water, but I feel bad that you didn't get that overwhelming big group hug from people that even people that didn't like you. You know what I mean by that? Online, there's always somebody, right? That gave you your time to like, hey, we may go back to fighting tomorrow, but right now we all stand in agreement that this is wrong. It was a kind of a weird thing. I really don't think I've ever seen anything like that happen because usually there is this kind of reaction and it's not like that. But anyways, that's what I want to say about that. And I told Spirit of Salt that I would do it. I am a couple days late now. This is about as happy as you're going to get me sounding, guys. I said before that I don't want to come on and sound out, Debbie Downer and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't been, but I do miss you guys a lot. Wanted to go over a couple of things, just as a couple of issues, and this is the last time I'll talk about this. It's regarding Lindy and what she said about me. Calling me an e-bagging, lying bitch. That I was afraid of Dave stalking me last fall. And if it happens again, and she was mocking my crying, and just you guys can go over there and watch the stream if you want to. The bigger point was that she said that she didn't make me pick, but this is what I mean. This is what I meant. As soon as that went down, she did a quick hangout and blocked me all over. And then I sent her a letter trying to quickly salvage it because I don't know what she thought that I was saying about her. I don't know if trolls got to her or not. And then Boris did one. And yes, she wasn't on Boris's hangout. Boris found out about it, obviously, through her. I mean, I'm assuming. And went on there and did that. I just don't think that I just don't think it warranted that, to be honest. I just don't think it warranted bringing everything up in the past up, because, you can start bringing up the past stuff. And I have a whole list here of what you brought up, like calling Kelly, this is the ex. You admitted to me in the things that you realized that it was Boris who facilitated it, or even in the least went along right with it, and I didn't have the number. So you blamed Boris right along there in that. And it was one call, and I didn't speak to her again after that. He and other people spoke to her and the husband numerous times. I spoke to her once in a group chat with a bunch of people there. That's as far as my thing ever went. And yes, Ari was called, and he did identify you. That's always been our bone of contention, Lindy. That's what we thought we dropped, but you brought it back up again. And that's why I'm bringing this back up again. It's because of that. I don't want to bring it back up again. But if it's brought up again and I hear about it, I guess I'm just going to have to come back up and say my side again. Saying that you thought that I changed and I'm whatever. I mean, I've changed because I'm going through something. I didn't not like who I was before. People say that, people say, just like, it was interesting because people are saying, people flip-flopping on people. But when I became friends with, in a truce with Lindy and a truce with Lori, I never went to those people and said, please forgive me for everything that I said. I was completely wrong. You're completely right. At no point did and I made a point of that, of not saying that, because at no point did I not believe every single word I said. I just didn't want to fight anymore. With Dave and Becca, it's a completely different story. With Dave and Becca, I no longer believe what I thought I believed. I'm not saying, I'm saying the key parts that were the parts that really, the parts about the suicide in the car, that part. And I so strongly believed, and Dave, did some things to make it seem a little bit like that, like when he went to the hospital and said he's going to fly to, Arizona and whatever. So it's all a game that we all played. But the major person hurt in that was Becca, because Becca was really feeling that. And if you ask any suicide hotline or people who have dealt with that, no suicides are going to be like they are on the Lifetime original. And then in a suicide attempt, it's different varying levels too. Somebody could make an attempt and really not want to die, but it's a cry for help. And then somebody could make that attempt where it's like, I really want to die. I've gone through in my life in the past recent year, the kind that Becca's gone through, where you feel like it's a cry for help. Like I can think through it and go, I don't really want to kill myself, because then I believe in God, and God said that that's the ultimate abomination. You just can't kill yourself, And if there is a God, I want a chance to be able to see my mom and my dad again. So that's why, it wouldn't be that much of a one, but you were in such distress. Like when I was in Florida, you could actually literally call that a suicide attempt, because I left my door open. It's so dark, guys. And I'm not going to cry. I promise you. Let me get a sip. Let me get a sip. Depression is so dark, and it's so different in so many different people. And when we try to sit there and sit in judgment by saying she had her seatbelt on, or she had this and she did this, and you know, I think a lot of us are really judgmental, and you're all hell-bent into you're not gonna give it up. How are they really gonna hurt you? What is this money that they've taken from anybody? So, I won't defend them anymore like that. However, and like I said, I do believe that he's sick. Has he made mistakes? Yes. I mean, I believe so. Have I made mistakes? Yes. Has Lindy made mistakes? Yes. Boris, Lori, Vegas Vixen, Rosie, anybody made mistakes? Yes. um, to say that I have no morals now because of that, it's just like I wanna. It's like psych. What is that? Like psych. It's a word I'm thinking. It's a word when you try to like just lob this stuff at people, and you use huge generalities too, like everybody hates you, nobody agrees with you, you're a known liar, you're this, and my life before. You talked about my life before. What was it? A change was said before. My life before, I mean, it's different, Lindy. It was different when you were friendly with me. You offered me advice, nice advice, and then all of a sudden you've just changed into this, all because I'm friends with Dave. All because I'm friends with Dave. You know, it could have been something where you would have came to me and said, "Hey, I know you're going to be friends with him, but maybe on your panel, could you just say out of respect for me not to do that?" Because everything was just so new. But that wasn't even tried. It was like, you just went from 0 to 60. And, then the other stuff happened. I had troll accounts underneath there that happened. And it's you guys, when you see troll accounts or when you see certain number of thumbs up, or if you see all that stuff is contrived, it can be easily done. Just don't believe everything that you see on YouTube. Really, don't believe everything you see, because you don't know the inner workings of so many different people behind the scenes. And it's so easy to have so many different accounts. And it's sad because a lot of people play it safe, play it straight down the middle, play it like, and so then you take, like when Rory said when we first came here, we thought that everybody was going to have a heart like we did. Just not into this. I mean, I could right now. I could go out there and like make up, I know how. 20 other accounts. Leave dozens and dozens of thumbs down for Lindy. Leave tons of comments there. But why? Why? What's the point? I'll say, Lindy, your comment hurt me as far as being, because one things you say that are fine when we're friends, and then you take them and twist them and use them when we're not friends. That part hurts. Um, I don't know. I'm sorry that you are upset. I would have definitely have um, asked them, and I know that they would have been respectful to, on my panel, not on theirs, not talk about you. When you hear me laugh or do something, it's because I'm uncomfortable. It's because I'm uncomfortable. I don't want this thing to blow up anywhere near what it was before. It's not going to happen because it takes two to tango. I mean, one person can do a lot, but you're not going to get any. This is as much play as you're going to get out of me. The biggest part of this is the lies that were said about my condo. And if you thought this was the case, Lindy, why out of all these months that we were friends, and you said that you had a troll that brought you that report that my condo didn't pay the taxes for a certain time and somebody was going to buy it. And so we were talking about all this stuff. We were talking about all this stuff. if this is the case, you say what you feel. Why wouldn't you say it then? Why would you wait until like this? Why couldn't you just stick with the fact that you were hurt or mad that I was friends with Dave? Just that. We could have talked about it. We could have set up guidelines. I would have respected some guidelines that you set up. It could have been handled much different. As far as this is the biggest lie that I'm going to get out there. My condo cannot be rented right now for income. When I came here to Las Vegas, it was the end of December, and I came for mediation. Excuse me. I came for mediation and got stuck. We had thought during mediation that money was going to be freed up. I mean, it was like we were pretty confident that we were going to have some good results for this, and money was going to get freed up and everything. And that quite the opposite happened. I didn't even have enough money to fly back. I mean, I had a one-way ticket to get there, and then the hotel, let alone flying back. So I went into, and then on Rory, I stayed with Rory for a little bit, but she has a very small house with her whole family. And our idea was her relatives have a bunch of rental units, and I could rent month to month from them until I could get back. And in the meantime, Rory would use part of it because she needed a storage locker. And she would do her business as far as, her refurbishing of furniture and selling and doing all that kind of a stuff. She would be here with me so she could take me to and from the doctors. That was a big part. Another really big part that I was dreading is when I was in Florida, when I would go upstairs, I would be stuck there. I would be stuck there. And I have a very nice neighbor who helps me there, but I don't know anybody else. I needed to always have money to fly back there to get the stuff that I have there, because I have a bunch of stuff. You just don't rent it all out with all your personal things in it. So they have rules of what you do. You take your stuff, and if you have a locker room that's big enough, I don't have anything like that. I would have had to have taken my stuff to a storage locker or locked out one of the bedroom doors for it, which we were thinking about as an option. We just never got that far because it's getting back there, and then it's getting back there with Rory helping me. And then the other part of it was because it goes through a company that is like Airbnb. I don't know, it's called Vivo or some other kind of a renting beach places out, right? And I'm not current on my association. I'm not current on my taxes. Have no electricity in there right now. I am not current on, and the refrigerator. I mean, the people want to live there. I don't have a refrigerator that works. I had that small little one. I'm not current on the taxes as well as the big association and the monthly association. So my friend that's there, who is kind of works with the board, she's close with the board, was going to ask if it was even possible, even after I got everything of those done, then is it even possible? And then the next part is it's not just me. It's because myself and my husband are on that. It's getting them both to sign off, him to sign off on it, which would, I mean, I can assume that he's going to say, sure, and then give me half the money, So there was a lot of stuff, and it's like, I've been here now, let's see, December, January, February, I've been here now 3 months, and it's been, a roller coaster of constantly up and down, and making of the rent here is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. 'Cause right now I have nothing again. Right now I'm completely flat broke again. I need to buy my vitamins that I need for my surgery. I take an ADEC. I made an Amazon wish list, and I'm just asking anybody if you wanna go there and help out with any food. If you don't wanna give money or anything, I'm just now populating it. So there's not gonna be anything extravagant on there. There is a few things on there that would be kind of an appliance, but that would be, a small appliance because I don't have anything here, and it would be, inexpensive, something to, like, cook eggs in the microwave or hard-boiled eggs, something to, um, to make things healthier, and that's what I'm aiming to do, and with my, anyways, so I do have that up there, and if anybody wants to just check through it, an Amazon wish list, you basically, um, click it to buy it, and then it gets sent right to me, and I can tell you how appreciative I would be if you guys did, and if I could get just that part of it out of the way, and you'll see, in a matter of a few months from now, um, I'm keeping track of everything, and, it's nothing that I'm expecting for people to do to somebody that has something, and when I'm able to, um, I will gladly pay it forward or repay or do anything, and I think my friends who know me at least know that. What did I see mentioned about me, which was just like, I try not to watch this stuff, and you know what? It's not even like that because there's the only trolls that are trolling me are trolls that when you see a troll like this dragon's name and nobody knows who they are, but they come out with such venom against a certain individual, that's trolling. It's not somebody like you that you know around, like you have people have that they don't show their faces or their voices or whatever. Those aren't trolls. It's these ones that just pop up and populate, and there's only a few people in this community who still do that old art of having all of those accounts to like pop all your likes up, uh, dislike somebody else, you know. It's all around there. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen a million times. I've tried trolling back in 2015, maybe counted on one hand. Rory, was saying like, do this, and I did it, and it was like lame. It was stupid. Too much to remember. I used my ex-husband's name. So no, it's not. It's really not for me. But it is for certain people, and people will say that they can say everything that they want. This is a good one, guys. Just remember this. If you take something from this, you will get all these people here at the bottom of YouTube, not all these people, a few people, who will say, I say everything that I want with my own name. Why would I need to do that? Because you need support. You can make a non-supported comment be the supported comment with a few trolls in there to agree with you. That's all that it is. I've seen it happen. You can change a whole audience of people. You can sway them all one way. All I'm asking you guys is when you look at the trolls saying the meanest things, ask yourselves, who are they? Like, why are they not like a name that's, who are they? Just ask yourself that. And I think you guys, there's certain people who have more issues down here, anger issues, um, just want to fight. There's a lot of people here who just want to fight. I see it. I see it all the time. And I'm not perfect, but I never was the one person going around before saying, oh, I've changed so much. I've changed so much. I'm me. I'm a hurt me. I'm a depressed me, but I'm still the same giving me. And I didn't give before to prove that I was rich. I just at that time had a lot more money to give, so I gave a lot more. But if you knew me my entire life, that would be it. I mean, Sadie Hawkins dance. I got my best friend's sister and her date their outfits because they couldn't get it, because I just like doing for people. I just like doing for people. It really gives me joy. It truly gives me joy. And God bless the people like that, because those people like that are the ones that are helping me now. Are the ones that are helping me now that I greatly appreciate. And I guess I've grown in taking the help from people. I've grown to know what it feels like from the other side, and that and really solidifies my stance in that I could never be a Bergs or an Elvis or anybody who would be so callous after somebody has given, because the givers in this world, the givers are the people with the truest hearts. Not everybody can give. And it's not always easy, because you may not want your name online either. That's a different story too. That's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean by that? But the gift of giving $1.99 or $99, um, to me, they're just beautiful, and they lift my heart up, and I will never, ever, ever forget that. And I'm just kind of not really ashamed anymore to do that, because I know from the mass amounts of letters and emails that I receive that people read my heart, and that means a lot to me. That means a lot to me, because that part was never done before. I have not experienced that part before. I've only experienced um, trolling, to where I react back to it, to where you start to kind of believe it, and it takes you in a really bad place that you just keep on doing this negative thing, you know? And it's not like I'm not gonna come out and give a comment on something, and it's not gonna be, like, perfect, but Mallory, you're a wonderful person. I wanna say anybody who doesn't know Mallory, let me tell you that Mallory will not dig into your past. Mallory will not call everybody or look up records or get go to that level. Mallory's here and now. Mallory and I have had a few times where we've been at odds, one recently, and we're just growing friends, and we will work it out. I was even see, she's just easy to talk to, because there was one thing that she said about Cooper, and it worried me, because she said Cooper didn't call her back, and Cooper so she felt slighted, and that taught me, because I have been notoriously doing that. And then when I heard Cooper bought her a purse, a handbag, to me, that was Cooper saying, "I'm sorry that I do this, but I really truly do care, because you know why? Because I would do that. And I know in my heart it's not that I don't care, but there's a lot of reasons why people just don't understand. And I'm not a person who, um, I'm very much more isolated, way more isolated than I should be right now, I know. But even when things are healthy, I'm like that. Um, so I just hold out some hope that Cooper and Mallory would be friends again, because they're both good people. Cooper, you're an amazing person. You didn't begrudge me for taking the money from Dave and Becca, because you knew that I needed it, and you just didn't begrudge me at all, and I appreciate that. Uni, I'll like wind around back to you again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to go through something as ugly as this racism here. And I really hope Shauna and Awesome Hooker come back because they are the kind people and their voices need to be heard out there. And I just would like it to be where we can forget a lot of this past stuff and we could logically ask ourselves, how did that really hurt me? I mean, besides words, how did it really hurt me? And maybe we could just move on past a lot of the stuff and maybe not be friends, you know? Like, wouldn't it would be, I don't know. I just think I'm getting a lot of uplifting from Dave and Becca right now. And from Rosie, from Janie, from Rory, from Lisa, from Lori, from Tina, from the other Lisa, from another Lori, and from another Lori, from Leanne. Tom, I heard you comment something, I know sometimes people get caught up in the comments. It's not, I don't even mean to belittle. I'm not trying to belittle what anybody is saying about selling somebody's soul to the devil and this big, huge, lifetime original defense to it. It's just online. That's how I feel right now, guys. It's just online. They're not going to turn on me. Dave and Becca are not going to turn on me. Dave and Becca, I don't know if I hate when people say people have changed, right? Because maybe they didn't even actually have to change, just like I didn't have to change. But I believed what I was saying. She believed what she was saying. So why do the people have to actually change? Why can't it just be that you opened up other parts of your mind and you saw another way? That's critical thinking. You just kind of, don't just stay stagnant like that. I haven't brought up the side chat. I guess I just wanted to kind of get all that out like that. I had more things written down here that I was going to say to Lindy. Lindy, I guess the last thing is that I do appreciate the little time that we had maybe tried to grow as a friendship, and you gave me really good, sound, sage advice. And I know that my becoming, accepting of Dave and Becca, doesn't make you happy. I understand that. And you can say it as much as you want. And as any certain way as you want. It's just, she's got no, I mean, because I know I have morals, and just to me, I'm not trying to say, I'm really, that's the one thing I backed away from, is trying to make everything sound so stupid. But when I hear somebody say, because of that, you are judging somebody online as to lacking all morals, and they just must not have changed. I don't even know where to put that in my brain, because my brain wants to bark out a cat sarcasm, which never helped me in the past. Try to understand, if you truly feel that way. But in my head, it's just to be sensationalist. And people people go for that. They start hearing that enough. That's what's always worked before. That's a tactic that's always worked before, is doing that. And I just wasn't acutely aware, as our most people know, what that looks like. I mean, because you really can't even hide troll names anymore, really. I mean, you can, but you'll get a bunch of messages like blah, 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 this is blah, blah, blah. Not like you did before. It's hard to hide troll names because we're so aware of, anyways. Okay, guys, thank you for listening to me. I got a lot. Oh, I'm going to come back. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. But I found my half sister. My mom was married, and once was going through divorce, she had 4 boys between the ages of 1 and 5. 4 boys. And my mother was madly in love with her divorce attorney. This is like a small town, Webster, South Dakota, right? But he was Catholic and married and was never going to leave his wife, never. And she was really ill at the time. So my mom, and she was young, trying to make him jealous, went out to the local bar and tried to get his best friend to just kind of like dance with her. And, anyways, out of that little, thing, she got pregnant. And this was in October of 1962. And I'll give more of the story tomorrow, but we've been looking for her forever. I didn't know about her until my brother died, because my mom just didn't want anybody thinking this about their mother, and plus it was like my whole life growing up, I was the only girl, and it was like I was the only girl, and I came all these years later, and then to find out, wait, you had a girl and you gave her up in between. It was just, you know what I mean? I wish she could have found her, because I don't know what to do. I still haven't done anything yet. I'll tell you how I know it is and everything. I'll tell you more of the story tomorrow, but it's kind of exciting, and it's kind of coming at a really weird spot in my life. So maybe God is trying to give me a message. Maybe God's trying to give me a message. I got to think of it like that. I got to look for the deeper meaning behind that. And as far as moving, and I know pretty much where I'd like to go when this is all over. I just can't wait till this is all over. I have some ideas with my friends, of things that I'm going to be doing for work. The rehabilitation. I'm going to be in the best place for the rehabilitation for my legs. Once I've been doing now over the past couple of days is because I haven't been doing anything. I've been going to the bathroom, peeing all the time, because all that swelling, when I do a lot of stuff for a couple of days, they swell up. And then if I arrest them, all that swelling comes out, and I instantly lose 10 pounds in water by just peeing all the time. And they're numb, and it's scary, and I don't know what's going on, and they always feel like they're gonna collapse underneath of me. But I'm gonna be going to California and having some really good care, and, a lot of other stuff I can't talk about, but you guys always feel free to leave me a comment underneath of there. I'm gonna set a moderator for my chat, because I just don't want to see, with this whole thing with Lindy, the troll comments. It's just inevitable. They've already had started, and I was aware of that. It's easy to tell. We don't have to be friends, Lindy, but maybe we could do it differently this time, where, if I can agree that if you I have people on my panel, and I'm sure that they would do that for me, to not talk about you, or if you're talked about over there, that I could just sit quietly or leave, just not because of to get you to shut up, but because I just don't want to. I really don't want to. It's that whole thing was the worst experience as far as stalking and trolling in my life, and I never wanna go back to anything anywhere near that. So I hope that that could be the case. If not, I'm a different person. I will handle it differently. I have now reached out to people where I never did before. I never did. I tried to, like, fix things on my own, or I didn't wanna burden people, and now because I've asked for things like, I'm asking right now, like, with my Amazon wish list, if you guys could help out with food, that would be really great. Any food, any in there it's on there, or vitamins, and I'll be adding more stuff on there. If you could. If you can't, that's totally fine. That's completely fine. But I do have Prime, so it would get shipped out to me for free, and, I have my PayPal up there, which is greatly needed. There's I need to get my dog fixed. I've called around to the places that have the low or free cost spay or neutering, but they don't do them when they're this small, and I don't know if they think that because they're this small, you gotta have money and you'd be able to do it yourself. But I did find a lady who was a lot cheaper than the other ones, so I could get him in and out done for $350. Um, but that needs to be done because to me, that's being abusive to your animal. He's coming up on a year old, and it hasn't been done, and, I've always taken care of my animals that way. I've always had that responsibility to do that, and with this one and he's, like, been my joy, my love, I didn't do it, and as far as getting his shots, um, he had the first and the second, but there was more that he has to go for before he even gets this, and there's also, and this stuff actually can wait. It can wait. I mean, if he's not gonna die. The shots are pretty important, and to save his teeth later on, to have his teeth professionally cleaned once every 6 months, they always recommend, um, even if you brushed your teeth. So, there's just things, I appreciate anybody who's given. I'm gonna come back tonight, I promise you. That was one other thing too, somebody had said, like, she always says she's gonna do things and she doesn't do things. That's so true. I do. It's part of depression. I do. But is that a stance to sit up there and make a hangout about, that she doesn't do those things? I mean, it'd be different if it's like, I don't know, I don't get some people. I don't get the mean. I don't have that meanness in me like that, nor would I, after I know that they're mean, wouldn't wanna be with somebody who's mean, because that's the ugliest, in my opinion, characteristic. So, that information is over on the side, and I appreciate it, and, I will reach out to you and thank you properly. I'm working on a lot of them right now. I'm working on the list. Each one of you guys, I remember each time that you've given or done something for me. I remember each time. And if I hope I have the side chat even up, because I don't even know if it's even up, and I'm sorry. When I come back next time, I'll be talking, guys. I just wanted to say this to you guys. I was gonna put it in a video and then just have it out. What's great knowing is that it's not everybody who is mad at me because I'm friends with Dave and Becca. 2 years ago, I would have believed that. So I had to have grown. When that comment would have been made to me before, I would have believed it. Now I know it's not the case. And there's nothing that can really hurt me. Really, nothing that can really hurt me that anybody wants to do online, because it's out there. I mean, what? What? Misunderstandings, like, Spirit of Salt, when she had said that I was an opportunist, and that's the reason why I didn't defend uni and say that, and it just simply wasn't as black and white as all that, and the reason I brought up the black husband thing was because just to show that people, when they think they know something about somebody, they just don't know. Like, she had thought that it was Rory who had a black husband and that we're different politically, and it wasn't to say, again, "I have a black husband." It's to show, "You're thinking this and you're wrong about this, so could you perhaps be wrong about what you're saying about me?" And, I was told tonight by somebody I respect to do them a favor, and for the next couple of months, don't even address any of that, because you're never gonna make everybody happy. You're never gonna make everybody happy. People are people, and it's what does make it fun to be around. And, I just gotta stop worrying about the other ones and just focus on the ones who are continually supportive, and I love you guys. I love you guys. You give me a reason to go on, so thank you. Okay, I made it through, just tearing up a little bit, not that bad. I love you guys, and I will be back later. Bye.